Effie. Hi, Paige. How's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, obviously, the world now
Good.
knows that Lauren is alive. How long did you know you would be coming back?
Oh my gosh, too long. I knew for a while. It was so hard to keep the secret. I knew when we were filming our finale um, for season two. So yeah, it's been quite a while.
And did you ask as far as what happens? I'm sure everybody's going back to say how Lauren died and then how did she survive, and then we get that
Mhm.
scene. So what would you say Lauren was up to at that throughout that whole time?
But like, oh, okay, so yeah, it's so weird because it's technically only been a summer. So she's just been in her wit set, and she got her wits in wit set. So she hasn't really been doing anything. She has no Wi-Fi. She can't spam. she's over it. It's been too long, and she's been in hiding.
Yes, we see that scene when she talks about she's had no Wi-Fi. So in today's world, for a person that young, how do they manage and cope when they're just in a house with no Wi-Fi and can't get on the computer?
Listen, I don't know. When I read that, I was like, wait, hold on. I get it for her safety, but like the Wi-Fi is crazy. I hope she has some TV, of some movies. Of course there's books, but who can read when you're in a position like that? I did see like a tweet where people were like, if she's in Witsec, how does she have like fresh nails done? I'm like, well, she's doing her nails because what else is she gonna be doing? So probably stuff like that. She's doing her nails. She's figuring out her hair. She's getting creative. She's going back in time.
What's her emotional state at this point? Obviously, she survived an assassination. She's in WITSEC. She believes at the time that Tariq is after her along with, his cohorts. Is she out for revenge? I don't see her as being totally angry to the situation that she's in.
I think that, she is angry, but I think her anger is not directed in the way that people would think. So you're right. Like, it's not for revenge. It's more just like, we keep seeing Lauren be put in these positions where she just keeps getting played when she's clearly trying to do the right thing and she's trying to be a good person. So I think her anger is just like, she's exhausted and tired, and I feel like she just wants to go home. Like everything else can be what it's gonna be. It's none of her business anymore. Like she just wants to go home and eat some good food and be with her family. So yeah, I don't think she wants revenge. I think she just wants to get the hell out of there.
When she goes to her house and she doesn't see her parents there, wasn't she risking it all? Especially if she knows or she assumes that she's already talked to Tariq. He's told her he had nothing to do with it, but you still have Effie out there along with Braden who could still spot her and get her killed.
Right. I think because around the first few episodes we saw Jenny show her the photos of Effie living her life with Tariq and being at Stanfield and stuff. I feel like whereas you always try to keep one eye open, I feel like she almost has this thing where she doesn't think Effie is necessarily looking that hard for her because she thinks she's dead. She thinks that she's dead and she thinks that she's in the clear. um, but going home, I think Lauren probably wasn't even thinking. It just was the most comfortable thing for her at that moment. And not having her parents there, I think that probably was the scary part. Or just trying to figure out like where could they be.
When you say that her parents are not there, which is a good thing, do you see Lauren having a dark side?
I don't. I really don't. Like, I feel like if Lauren had a dark side, we would have seen it by now. I feel like she's been in so many different positions where she could have turned into that person, and I'm not sure if in Lauren. I'd like it to be. I'd like her to boss up. I'd like her to, figure some things out for herself and get a little stronger. But I'm not sure if she does have a dark side.
For you, you're working with different directors and different writers and being on a show. How have you grown, skill set wise as an actress as you spend time on the show?
Um, every time I'm on a new set, you're always learning something. And like you said, there's different writers and different directors, and each person has their own vision. So it's just nice to be open to take that direction and to take those visions and to bring them to life and having those conversations with those directors, and just collabing on a project. And it's just always nice to learn something new from each person that you work with. And all our directors and writers are incredible. So I'm really grateful because they make it really easy for me to do my job just by their writing alone.
From what we've seen so far, a lot has to do with your facial expressions. So when I said earlier, will she have a dark side? Because, we don't see that, like, look on that face like she's out for revenge, and a lot of it has to do with, do you have to work on, I guess when you're working with different directors, as far as, does it say on the script how you're supposed to look?
No, not at all. We are free to, kind of play around, and they keep it very open for us. Yeah, Lauren is just, I think it's just been, like when you get stir crazy, just doing nothing, like just imagine being in that position. I think she's just known at this point. There's really not much she can give anybody else.
Mm-hmm. And then being that you have to keep it as a secret, how was it when everybody else is trying to promote the show, but you can't say anything because people will watch your tweet, your messages, congrats guys, anything you say, people will start alluding to something.
Right, I honestly forgot I was on the season. Because, when you have to lie so long and you have to just really believe it, like I forgot. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm actually on this season. I totally forgot. So it was interesting to see. It was definitely weird this year not being able to be a part of any of, promotions or the photo shoots or, I live in California, so driving down Sunset Boulevard and seeing, the big ghost poster, I was like, oh, that's so cool for them. And then I have to remind myself, like, you are on it, right? And we're like, okay, yeah, forgot.
So, how was it hard when you see people, and and obviously between last season and now, and you're going places, and everybody's like, "Oh, you had a good run on the show," and you're like, "Yeah, wait till they see."
Yeah, I think the funniest is, people when they would try to convince me that I am alive, and I'd be like, I'm not. Like, I'm really sorry. Like, yeah, you are. I'm like, okay, but I'm not. Or moments where people would asked me like, oh, when is season 3 coming out? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm not on it anymore. They're like, oh, yeah, that's right. They did kill you. Okay, have a good day. And I'd be like, you are so funny.
In between the show, have you done anything during its hiatus as far as where else we can see you in?
Yeah. I've been working on a few projects. I have one that should be dropping this year, which is a movie I did with Megan Good and Terrence J called Russ and Drew. So I'm really excited about that. Not exactly sure the release date, but that's something that I just finished up a few months ago.
Okay. And then so, when you said, you got this project, what goes into saying yes to any projects you take?
For me, I just like to be very strategic, and I like to take roles that I feel like will move the needle forward, and I feel like roles that are going to challenge me, and roles that I just know that I'll feel comfortable with, especially if you're going to be working for years on something. You just want to make sure it's comfortable and it's moving you in the right direction and not keeping you safe or not moving you anywhere. So it's always really important for how I choose what I'm going to do.
And before I let you go, what can we expect, if you can say anything, from Lauren coming up?
We could just expect, I hope we can expect Lauren to just really, like I said, really hoping that she gets bossed up, and really hoping that she can just, take her power back in whichever way that be.
Hey, rightly said. So congrats on being alive. Congrats
Thank
on still
you.
being on the show. And let's see where Lauren goes. We'll be watching.
Okay, thank you. So nice to talk to you.
Take care.